All right, today we are building a machine. Seriously, but not just any machine. We're talking about the engine that powers modern business growth. It's the B2B digital marketing engine. We're going to peel back the curtain and show you exactly how companies find, attract, and, actually win new customers in today's world. Let's jump in.
So let's start with a really big number, 7.5 million. What is that? Well, according to our source material, that's the global follower count for the media assets of just one company. That is a massive, massive audience, and it really sets the stage for the kind of scale we're talking about. I mean, how do you find a real customer in a crowd that big?
And really, that brings us to the most fundamental question for any business, right? Doesn't matter if you're a global giant or a tiny startup. Where do new customers actually come from? It's not magic. It's a system. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to build that system piece by piece.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll tackle the big problem that every B2B company is wrestling with. Then, we'll get into the strategy, how you find the right people. After that, execution, turning them into actual opportunities. We'll even look under the hood at the ad engine that makes it all run. And finally, the most important part, how you prove any of it is actually working.
Okay, so first things first, the modern lead problem. See, the goal here isn't just to get lucky, hope a customer just falls into your lap. It's about engineering a system, a predictable pipeline that keeps delivering a steady stream of potential business to your sales team. I really want to hammer this home. This idea of a predictable pipeline is absolutely crucial. It's all about shifting marketing from what feels like a random art form into a measurable science. You're building a machine where you know your inputs and you can reliably forecast your outputs. It takes all the guesswork out of growth. Which brings us perfectly to our next section, strategy. You can't build a pipeline if you don't have a blueprint, right? You have to know exactly who you're building it for. This is all about precision, finding your perfect customer before you spend a single dollar trying to reach them.
So how is it done? Well, it really boils down to 4 clear steps. You start with the basics, the demographics. Then you get smarter and slice that big audience into smaller, more relevant segments. From there, you build out what are called buyer personas, these super detailed profiles of your ideal customer. And then, the most important part, you use actual hard data to prove your assumptions are right. It's a real process, not just a shot in the dark. And check out the level of detail we're talking about here. This is what's so wild. We're way beyond just age and location. Modern B2B targeting looks at a company's revenue, their specific industry, and even what technology they're currently using. And get this, an intent score can literally tell you if a company is actively researching solutions like yours right now. Talk about surgical precision.
Okay, so you've got the blueprint. Now it's time for execution. This is the factory floor. This is where you actually start generating demand and creating those quality leads. This is where all that strategy turns into real-world action.
But here's a super important distinction you have to understand. Not all leads are the same, not even close. On one hand, you've got someone who shows basic interest, maybe they downloaded a PDF. We call that a marketing qualified lead, or an MQL. But on the other hand, you have a high-intent buyer, someone who is actively looking for what you sell and has the money to buy it. That's a sales qualified lead, an SQL. And the difference between them is just massive.
And here's where it gets really fascinating. Look at the value of that difference in cold hard cash. A simple white paper download, that might cost you $30. But a fully qualified lead, what we're about to call a BANT lead, that's going to run you $450. And a confirmed meeting for your sales team, a whopping $1,250. You're not just paying for an email address, you are paying for quality and serious intent.
So what on earth makes a lead worth over $400? Well, it all comes down to this framework called BANT. This is pretty much the gold standard. It's an acronym that confirms the person has the budget, the authority to make the decision, a real need for the product, and a time frame to buy. When a salesperson gets a BANT lead, they know it's real. That's a total game changer. So, how do you find all these BANT-qualified people at scale? That takes us into the engine room of modern marketing, the programmatic ad engine. This is the tech that automates the whole crazy process of finding your perfect audience and showing them ads across, well, pretty much the entire internet.
So here's the key thing to get. Programmatic advertising isn't about, calling up a website and asking to place an ad. It's about using software to buy ad space in real time. We're talking microseconds, based on who is visiting that page at that exact moment. It's all automated, it's all data-driven, and it's incredibly precise. You ever wonder how that happens? You look at a pair of shoes once and suddenly they're following you everywhere you go online? It is not a coincidence, I promise. It's the result of combining different layers of data to build this really detailed profile of you. Let's break down the 3 main layers.
Okay, layer 1 is a company's own data. We call it first-party data. Honestly, this is the gold mine. This is the most valuable stuff they have. It's people who've already been to their website, existing customers from their database, or even digital lookalikes of their best customers. Now, layer 2 is where you go out hunting for new people. This is where you use other data sources to target folks based on their job title, the specific company they work for, that's a strategy called account-based marketing, or ABM, or just the industry that they're in.
And layer 3 is behavioral data. This is the really cool stuff. It's all about what a person is doing right now. Are they reading articles about a problem your product can solve? Are they on your competitor's website? This data can find what are called surge audiences, groups of people who are suddenly showing a ton of interest in your category.
And finally, we get to the part that really matters most, the proof. How do you know if this big, complex, expensive engine is actually doing its job? This is where measurement comes in. You got to have a scorecard to track performance and calculate your return on investment, your ROI.
So the first metric on the scorecard is click-through rate, or CTR. It's a really simple percentage. Of all the people who saw your ad, how many actually clicked on it? Think of it as the first test. A high CTR means you grab their attention. Your ad is working.
Okay, next up is cost per click, or CPC. This one is all about efficiency. So, you got the click, great, but how much did it cost you? The goal for any marketer is to get this number as low as possible because a lower CPC just means your budget is working harder for you.
But you know what? Clicks don't pay the bills. That brings us to maybe the most important metric of all, cost per lead, or CPL. This is the bottom line. How much did you have to spend in total to get one person to raise their hand and say, yep, I'm interested? This is the number that tells you if your marketing is actually profitable or not. Simple as that.
And you know, this quote from our source material really just sums it all up perfectly. The whole point of this entire system, the strategy, the execution, all of it, is to get full visibility into ROI. It's about being able to connect every single dollar you spend to a real business result.
So, we'll end with a question for you to chew on. When you look at any business out there, is its marketing department just a cost center, a place where money just gets spent? Or is it a predictable, measurable engine for growth? Because understanding that difference, well, that's everything.